still have a ton of lore questions for sure. It's strange that there wasn't more coming from Nefeli Lu. This ending you like to think as a means to unfetter mankind from the influence of the outer gods? That's what I was thinking about as well. It seemed like instead you were turning towards the gods and basically saying, "Fuck you, we're traveling space of our own volition," and that might be scary as shit because everything's all nasty out there. But we're gonna give it a shot. I still don't know the whole hierarchy of like Godwyn, Godric, Godfrey, Godfrey, and then like the other one. So the Elden Beast I can only imagine then as one of those space beings, but I don't know if that's the greater will or not. I didn't check the description yet of the remembrance. The building I missed in the capital was the actual version of the round table. No. I did reach that. I did get to the real round table. I don't know what. My thought is that it doesn't exist in real space, but it's a vision created by the Erd Tree. But the strange thing though, or the greater will or something. But even those who can't see grace are still allowed in because Rajir was allowed in. So I don't know the what decided to create it, and why use the round table in the capital as a reference. It's funny, you can see all the random like outsourcing studios and stuff. The credits are probably enormous for a game like this. Also, motion capture, I want to call that out. I know people were upset about Dark Souls 2 using motion capture because they didn't have time to refine it. Elden Beast does appear to be a manifestation of the greater will's power. They gave Marika to the Elden Ring. Is the Elden Ring... Oh, is that why they were saying they were going to rewrite? Okay, so yeah, that's what it must be then, yeah. They mentioned that earlier where everyone who's going to amend and fix the Elden Ring, and that seems to basically literally have been a bunch of principles that form reality. She decided she wanted more by X. So, yes, that's why. Seal away the Rune of Death. AKA, all those runes are core laws of reality. I feel like Death has such a strong connection to the moon that that's part of why Ronnie didn't like it. So then there's the question of, like, what is everybody's rune? If everyone has a great rune, then... what might their... What might each of their runes represent, then? Because I feel like they all represent some core principle of existence in some way. And I think maybe I didn't glean that really well by reading everything. I don't think the Greater Will has a tangible presence. Like, you don't seem to directly act upon the Greater Will. And the other thing that's also interesting is that if there's everything out in the stars, is this a single planetoid of, like, the universe, or is this like the central? Is the one planet and that's why the Elden Ring is accessible there? Or is it such that the planet represents a plane of existence, and that plane has its own rules, and the rules there are the Elden Ring? Because it kind of seems like the outer gods potentially are many and have their own domains and are warring with each other or have their own interests or something. People currently think she's Melina. I didn't take a close enough look at the eye tattoos, or whatever that's going on with the eyes. Because both of them have a closed eye. They both have some sort of symbol on their eyes. I didn't catch what they were, though. Yeah, you can start dumping opinions. Yeah, Elden Beast appear to be... Yeah, I got that. World appears to draw a lot of interest from several extraterrestrial entities, both small and grand. Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that what I don't quite get is... Oh yeah, I don't think I renewed or figured out Michaela's rune. I was gonna say... You can't, okay. Maybe that's DLC. Well, Michaela doesn't slumber just anywhere. He's literally sitting in an egg in the blood temple or whatever. In the Mogwin Palace. Melina is thought to be the Glowmite Queen, leader of the Godskin Apostles. I don't understand how that's a thing. I don't know anything. Like, do they have any reasoning for that? Do you think Radagon and Marika are not real forces? Think that the Elden Beast serving the Greater Will is very likely an outer god? I'm confident the Greater Will is an outer god. I think it's one of two things. It's either a creature, the same tier and power of an outer god, and it's either literally an outer god from outside of the world that they know, or it's the power that is inherent in the existence of whatever your planet or plane of existence you're on. As Gideon says, the point is to struggle forever. I think I do not want to start 32 now. Do not. Melina had the Rune of Death? Because she's trying to free it. She's trying to free Destined Death. I wonder if she then would be a fragment of Destined Death. And that's why she couldn't leave. And she wasn't actually related to Marika. She's literally... yeah! That's what's probably going on. No, Malekith... Oh yeah, Malekith had the blade. And Malekith wasn't in the tree. Shit, I don't know how this works. Didn't they say, though... That's the strange thing. I thought they locked it away, though. I thought they locked the rune away. I think this is a sort of pocket dimension where the Greater Will basically creates a power-seeking, power feedback loop. It's strengthened by struggle. Okay. I was trying to figure out why the Greater Will would have wanted that in the first place. Yeah. I thought, if Melina is Destined Death and trying to burn on the tree to release something, or if she's a fragment of the Rune of Death or something, then what I don't get is why the fuck is that why is that not in the tree, and why is it off to the side in Farum Azula? I picked the Ranni ending. To go into space. Face her fears. Be cold. Ranni's a child of Rennala and Radagon. I know that. Which would have been a vow between the moon and whatever else Turtle Pope mentioned that I forgot. Marika broke herself to break the Elden Ring. Is that the case? Marika had to break her... So the Elden Ring was sealed inside Marika. She broke herself to remove death from the equation? Am I understanding that right? I don't understand her motivation for that, though. Because she's not... How, like, is it because she wants the power to take on the greater will and her subservience to it? Or what? And then why would Radigan try to fix it if Radigan's part of America? Wouldn't they both have the same goals? Or did the greater will split them out into, like, one is a subservient, controllable portion of it, and the other portion is the portion that's rebelling? You think Melina is heavily related to Ronnie somehow? People, yeah, they've said that. She has her left eye scarred up and close. Yeah, I know that. The eye thing. That eye changes in the final cutscene in Ronnie's ending. I wonder if that's on purpose. Well, yeah, I was thinking about that, Eyeball. I just... man. I don't see enough to really tell. Marika originally removed the Rune of Death from the ring, which could be assumed to be a metaphor for the cycle of life. Yeah, I know that. Which is separate from breaking it. Okay. Then what shattered the ring again? Or what... yeah. I thought fucking with death was what broke the... is what broke the ring. I mean, based on what you see with Radigan and Marika, the Elden Ring seems to be enclosed inside. Like, you can see, like, if you look inside their, like, open corpse or whatever. Like, someone stole the Rune of Death from Malekith. She was so angry that she shattered it. So, okay, so she took the Rune of Death off of the Elden Ring, gave it to Malekith. Somebody stole it from Malekith. Malekith got it back only after the Elden Ring was shattered because she was upset. Somebody stole a fragment of it. That must be what it is then. They attempted to steal the Rune of Death. I guess they must have gotten most of it back, but a fragment remained and was imbued in the blades used to kill Godwyn / Hoarelu and then somehow that Ronnie and God... okay, so they had the full Rune of Death, and they didn't just steal a fragment of it. I thought they took a piece of it, and it was powerful enough to kill gods.
I see.
What happened to you?
So it wasn't just me this happened to. To think he'd forget who you were as well. I knew he'd burn himself out. Old Hugh. I think we could talk him into leaving the Round Table hold now. But maybe it's better that we don't. It's only proper that we respect his choice to stay. I'll remain with Hugh. He made me who I am today. I'd like to return the kindness in whatever small way I can. Please, become Elden Lord. Hugh was always saying that you were a lord to him. So slay her with the weapons he smithed. Slay the god Marika, who cursed us all.
So that's all done. I want to try the sorcerer as well, because apparently they've got good shit. I'm not gonna max though. Malekith has it because he's a defender of America. Very interesting that the people who run the show get to keep the power to deal irreparable violence. Yeah, it's true. Treatments appear to be entirely parasitic. Yeah, I was saying livestream related, and it seems like that. I mean, if you want to make a Final Fantasy VII reference, it's literally Sephiroth basically getting in positioning himself to absorb souls, or to absorb life energy, or whatever, Mako, whatever we're calling it. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe the greater will can't directly intervene, and instead the greater will basically has to say, all right, death is fucked. Everything goes to the Erd Tree upon death, and the greater will siphons power off of that, and needs conflict in order to force that to happen. Where's my here you are. 132 to damn, okay. What's the most expensive that I own? Okay, so just literally... Teesh. Context being there, you think means you can assume removing the Rune of Death was to give them power. Moving death from reality. Well, yeah, I mean, removing death... So, there's a constant story trope regarding immortality, and then it's all bad no matter what. And there's a lot of, like, societal sort of inference from that. Of, like, if you had the power to remove suffering and death and have eternal life and eternal youth and all that other stuff, like, would there be a point where it would be a bad, like where's the transition point where it becomes bad? Is it because everyone gets bored, or can everyone create infinite interesting things to do, or, you know, it's often presented like I'm on 150 already, huh? Wonder if I should wait. Nope. Gotta keep going. I'll see how I feel after 200 or so. If I haven't seen, like, in Dark Souls, nothing moves on, slowly rots. Yeah, well... A lot of people present it like... It's like... It can never be... It can... You know, other people get to decide that immortality is not good, or, there won't be enough, like, a lot of, like... Zero-sum game presentation, like, nobody, you know, immortality would mean we run into resources, or, you know, there would not be, nobody would have room to succeed or grow or develop or whatever. It seems like people lose themselves to madness over time. Well, that's another one of those, like, common tropes of, like, oh, well, you know, if you live long enough, then you degrade or become shitty or whatever. Oh, I need to buy a lot of these stones. One tries to become one with a tree to reach an adult state. One tries to do, to rebirth. Well, I don't necessarily think, what's the name of the other dude? The snake dude. I don't think that Rykard was trying to get proper rebirth. I thought that was Renala trying to figure that out. Moog tries to infuse life into a dead body. I don't know actually which... I don't have a good grasp of what Moog was trying to do. Unless the infant... Is the infant form of Miquella effectively dead at that point? Yeah, I will, yeah. It definitely does seem that, for the most part, most of them are trying to... The Lady of the Manor tells you that you just try. But isn't Miquella just perpetually an infant, but still alive? Rykard wanted power. Yeah, That's what I was thinking. My thought was Rykard wanted more power and he couldn't be sated, and that was the thing. That was the reality. And in fact, the end of his story was everybody at the manor saying, "Oh, well, this, uh, our lord is, our Lord Rykard is weak, and we realize that now, and we're moving on." And that was like the whole. That was what was going on with Rykard's story. So one doesn't have. I thought Mogs was more like he wanted an empire. Rykard wants power. I didn't really get, like, I thought Renala was just trying to get rebirth. I have to go over a list of all the all of the so really, it doesn't seem that... It seems what Morg wanted... Or, Moog... My brain is... So many names. My brain is like mush. What Moog wanted... was an empire as basically the Elden Lord to Miquella. What did Millennia want? Did you already go over that? I lost that one. He wanted an empire by twisting Miquella into his wife. You mean, I don't think there's any sort of... I don't think there's any sort of I guess what, like, gender definition occurring there, and B, I don't think, they need a relationship. It just needs to be consort. Like, the game describes Miquella as male. At least uses he pronouns, so... I don't think... I think you can be an Elden Lord for more or less a god character, no matter what, or, you know, demigod or whatever. I guess it has to be at least Empyrean. Needs offspring? Do they? Did they specifically mention needing offspring for Moog? I thought they just needed the position of there are other omen out there. Well, that's also true. Yeah, if they all, yeah, it doesn't seem as there's a clear definition either way. Like, maybe it's more like their power isn't defined in any real way as a being, and once you have an Elden Lord, you can do whatever you want with it. You have a budding theory that all gods are dual beings, and Miquella and Millennia are another dual being. It sort of seems like... It seems like a possibility just because of, like, they... It doesn't seem such that... It doesn't seem like there's anything preventing it, and the way that they stay so connected almost kind of sounds like, rather than being a dual being in one body, there's two separate bodies, but they're still... That's why they're basically twins. Because, like, maybe it's something like they share a soul, or share a power source, or share something. And maybe it's, like, just some quirk of their existence that makes them effectively separate. Millennia has the upper half of... Do you mean the upper torso of Miquella and Millennia? Because Marika just you like in one scene, it looks like America statues, and in one scene, it looks like Radigan statues. But I think it's not like. I don't think the. I don't think that what they show. I don't think what they show visibly has anything to do with their being. I think it's more like whether or not. Like, I don't think there's any real definition of what they are. And I think it's just gods and demigods, and it's just like power sources and entities. Ronnie was an Empyrean, but cast that aside. Other one we know about is Godwyn, who also died in the night. Your guess is what she cast aside is Godwyn himself is the real reason. Then I wonder if there's any mention his torso is opened up. Oh shit! Was it okay? Okay, that might make more sense. Is it that physically, their one half is missing on the one side and the other half is missing on the other side? Because I'd have to rewatch the video. It's also notable that by the game standards, Melania is a god. Well, they specifically said the third time the rot blooms, then she becomes a god. And I think technically at that point, there's one. Okay, so there's two times when she definitely blooms, like relative to the story, or what the player sees. The first time. Oh, okay. So the first time is the trailer. The second time is undefined, but is right next to the boss room. The third time is in the boss room itself, as far as I can tell. And they specifically, her boss title is like Millennia Goddess of Rot or whatever it was. Oops, didn't mean to hit 7, but that's fine. Okay, let's see where we're at. All of the... I don't want to necessarily dive too deep into shitting on Melania, because there's apparently, like, a lot of toxic, shitty internet people are diving into that and making it about being misogynistic. Hey, thanks for the raid, Virals. We're talking about the ending, so this may not be the best time to pop in. I don't want to spoil you if you want to avoid that. She is one of your favorite lore plot lines. I don't have a super great understanding. I'm missing 7s, really? Oh, can I only buy 6s? Hold on. I think I need like 12 7s. I thought I got all the high tier ones. I don't have a good grasp of her plot. All I really get overall with Millennia is something to the effect of she lost. It seems like she lost her will. Fuck, I have the object and I never used it. I guess this is for an ending that I'm not gonna get. She success. It does. There's no fair. There's no fair in Elden Ring, Dark Souls. The competition between the outer gods, demigods. Realizing your position as an Empyrean. None of that has any. There's no definition of what's fair there. If she like rot nukes the entire planet to kill Radon, then like that doesn't seem to be a problem. None of them won. Well, then that's just, you know... That's a separate issue. Being, like, if she's being petty about whether she lost or not. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, she basically... Both of them were still alive. None of them technically lost. She passed out after inflicting enough damage to subdue Radahn. Radahn didn't manage to finish her off. Nobody won. Wonder if I'm ever going to get this to do good damage. Well, with my stats. Yeah, I can't. There's no, like, yeah, kind of want to try this homing shot. So I don't... It doesn't seem reasonable to be upset that a fictional character is petty about whether they lost her or not. And still undefeated anyways, so, like, getting upset about it seems like circle jerking. You know, who fucking cares? There's more important things about the lore. You can't help but feel the name is too similar. Well, Godwin, Godric, Godfrey, Godfrey. Like, you know. All the names are similar. Oh, the Knight of the Black Knife is the... Well, I don't know. Knight of the Black Knife sounds like the Black Blade Malika. I don't know. What was it? Okay, so... Remembrance of the Elden Beast hewn into the Erd Tree. It's weird that they mentioned I guess the Greater Will still benefits from this. However, it seems. It is the vassal beast of the Greater Will and living incarnation and of the concept of order. Vassal beast of the Greater Will and living incarnation of the concept of order. Well, no, they saw a piece of the Rune of Death, and I think what probably happened is that's why they're all daggers. So instead of a giant black greatsword, it's just a bunch of small black daggers. You can try to point out is the knight. Many political descendants, they always call the Knight of the Long Knives. I don't know enough about the Elden Ring story to know how much of a direct correlation is between, or not correlation, a direct reference that might be. But, Salt, I know you like to dive very, 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 very deep into theory crafting things that don't have a lot of... that there's not a lot of information that's been collected that determines whether or not you could tell one way or another whether or not that holds weight. Sacred Relic Sword. Oh, this is the one that they were wielding. Yeah, sword. Sword wrought from the remains of a god who should have lived a life eternal. AKA, this is a sword made literally out of Ranagan, America. Thoughts on what the weapon portends are many and varied. Some consider it the mark of a great sin, or a sign of great devastation. Some think it as the end of an age, while others the beginning wave of gold. Imbue the sword with bygone golden glory, then fire it at foes. A wide golden wave fans outward, sweeping through all enemies caught in the past. So that's the thing I was having to dodge 4 times. America's hammer. Stone hammer made in the lands of the Newmen, outside the lands between. The tool with which Queen Marika shattered the Elden Ring. Okay, okay. So this is clarified then. So Marika did shatter the Elden Ring 100%. The tool with which Queen Marika shattered the Elden Ring and Radigan. I still don't understand why they're attempting to repair it. Maybe, you know what it could have been? I think I know. I think what they probably, like, if this wasn't explained already, I don't necessarily know, unless it was clarified that Marika was upset and that's why she shattered the Elden Ring. Could it be possible that in attempting to alter and reforge the Elden Ring after removing death, they fucked up and attempted to repair it because everything was totally messed up afterwards? And the Greater Will was like, no, fuck you, you're gonna house this thing because you fucked up and we need your power to make this not be any worse. If you can believe Gideon, they aren't trying to repair it. Well, I don't know if Gideon... I didn't get a good idea of what... I don't know... I don't remember exactly what Gideon said, and I think I might have missed some dialogue as well. Goldbreaker. Leap up high, and while suspended in midair, imbue the rune shard with light before smashing it down hard under the ground. The heroic Radigan's signature attack. Has anybody collected enough information about the lore to have, like, are there people with like big, like, multiple piece cited articles or videos yet? Could be as simple as Radigan being the part that doesn't want to be splintered. If there are multiple strongly existent aspects of Radigan / Marika, and one feels strongly enough to not want to shatter the Elden Ring, like if Radigan represents Marika's doubt, or something like that, then maybe? But I don't know if there's been enough posted, if the game provides enough information to know if... I don't think enough has been posted in the game to explain both the personalities and motivations between Radigan and Marika, assuming that they're basically two separate facets of the same creature or being or whatever. There's a spell I thought I could get after I thought I could use the remembrance for. And I guess not. Oh, can I get Millennia Elden Lord stuff? Is there like Elden Lord chest? Yeah. Armor of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Age of the Erd Tree began amongst conflict when Godfrey was lord of the battlefield. He led the war against the giants, faced the Stormlord alone. That's weird. Okay, so wasn't the Stormlord the... No, that was the King of Storms. Shit, who the hell was the Stormlord then? Crap. He led the war against the giants, faced the Stormlord alone, and then there came a moment when his last worthy enemy fell, and it was then, as the story is told, that the hue of Lord Godfrey's eyes faded. So is is the light of grace or whatever basically your purpose at that point? And the moment you give up, is that what it is? Because if the greater will feeds upon conflict and will show you the light of grace in order to keep you going, the moment you have nothing to do anymore, the greater will is like, nah, you're done. We're just, we're gonna ball you up and throw you out. People are also whispering of a hidden final ending. If it exists, then it'll be for DLC. Maybe. It could be a late patch or something too. So like in Dark Souls, you kind of go hollow once you lose sight of your you lose sight of your goals, and then you go hollow, right? In Dark Souls 2, hollowing is more like giving up. One of the interesting questions to you is, why did Godfrey return? I'm honestly not sure. I wonder if I should be paying attention to his eyes in the cutscenes, because I wonder if the light returns because Godfrey had purpose. You know what it could be, actually? Maybe Grace returned to Godfrey's eyes because there was a worthy combatant. And in fact, he says that at the end. That's what's going on, yeah. Once they were no longer any strong opponents for Godfrey, he's like, fuck this, I'm out. The Greater Will is like, nah, you got no grace now. And they said, it's probably like their entire army is like, fuck this, I'm done. Right? Because, and they left Lands Between, and maybe like died peaceful lives out in the middle of nowhere or whatever. And then the moment there is a conflict that needs the restoration of the Elden Ring, or whatever ending you end up going for, Grace is shotgunned out to every fucking champion from back then. And initially it's all the weak ass people building up and getting their shit together. So it's every random astrologer or prophet or whatever your starting class was. And then once one of you gets strong enough to get that far, Grace returns to Godfrey because he's like, oh, we have some conflict now. We have somebody to fight. And the Greater Will's like, yeah, this is great. Let's fucking fight. And let's feed some more conflict into my Earth tree so I can go suck it out later on. And then Godfrey shows up, fights you. At the end, he's like, yep, good job. And then that's what it sounds like. Following my line of thought, this game's version of hollowing, the point seems to be that people are being broken down by trying to repair something that can't be repaired. I would have been more literal with it, in that if they have purpose. Here's the thing. I don't know if every character that has seen Grace has something they're trying to fix, more than they're just trying to do something. And if it's more clear that every character has... If it's more clear that every character has something they're trying to fix in the world, and that gives them grace, and the moment they don't want to fix it, then they lose it, then maybe? I thought it was just they had something to do. Oh, I was wondering where the short spears were sold. I wanted to get 2 strength at some point and try that ice lance, but now that I beat the game, I don't know how I feel about that anymore. Oh, look at you. Still stuck here, aren't you?
Go and unshackle my corporeal flesh, trapped in the sewer jail below the capital.
Grace being the guidance of the greater will, naturally vanishing when the individual has served their purpose. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like if they're along for the ride, then the greater will is like, cool, you get your grace. So long as whatever... Like, okay, does your character have golden eyes? No. If you read about the Great Rune guys, they're mostly trying to fix it in their own way. Many of them were directly harmed by the Golden Order existing. I'm not clear enough. Is the Golden Order basically America, the state that America wants the world to be in, as a result of removing the Rune of Death. Am I understanding that correctly? I never got a good understanding of exactly what the Golden Order actually would be. Did I follow this? Yeah, as we continue to do some lore discussion, I'm gonna browse around a bit. There may not be much for me to do at all, but I'll just wander outside and take a look. Golden Order is basically the law of the lands. Both of them the people live by, more literally. I don't know if the Golden Order is explicitly the Elden Ring. I thought the Elden Ring was more like the laws of reality. A representation of the Old Order as opposed to the banished kids who did not want to become God or Lord. Current implication of the Golden Order, or instability of ideology, be blamed on the fickleness of the gods no better than men. Oh yeah, one of the mending ones, the one that's fucking Gold Mask had. A rune discovered by the noble Gold Mask, used with the restored diffraction Elden Ring. It almost kind of feels like Gold Mask is like, if everyone could just sort out their shit and stop being upset at each other, everything would be great. And I wonder if it's something like, once you've been granted immortality, then everyone, like, eventually just finds their own shit to bicker about, and immortality sucks. The Golden Order was created by confining deaths and death. Thus, this new order... Yeah, so the Golden Order... Yeah, I was saying this. Yeah, okay, so get this. So this is what I was saying earlier. The Golden Order is literally America's order created by removing death from the equation. I think Gold Mask is basically trying to say, let's resolve our differences and stop fucking around. And it wouldn't be as big of a problem. Like, immortality wouldn't be such a big deal if everyone would just chill out a little bit. And, like, and it's really, like, I think, considering that Corwin, or whatever the name of the dude was who was following Gold Mask, was saying, like, I'm trying to understand, like, all of his mannerisms and his, you know, his... I think Gold Mask is literally saying, if we could just align everything perfectly, we'd be great, and it doesn't matter if we're immortal. Ronnie is like, let's allow conflict to end by restoring death to the world, so that, like, we can move forward. And I don't know what the other, like, Chaos seems like, fuck it. Fuck the worlds, just let it, everything goes. Do I care much if you talk about the other endings? I probably want to spend the night digesting a bit before... I'm probably going to look up the other endings, because I doubt... It's going to take me so long to get to the next ending that I'm probably going to be looking them up. So I probably don't want to go too deep into... At least let me digest the current ending and what I've seen so far. Rani has decided to throw out all the current order to reset things with a new idea. Well, that's the thing. I think Frenzy and Chaos, whatever it is like throw out the rules, everything goes, sort of fuck it. That whatever is driving the flame of frenzy, the flame of frenzy, is trying to do. Based on what I've seen from Shiburi so far. I don't know what other factions get so far as having a mending. I guess it would have to be a mending rune at that point. I think this is the thing I want. Yeah, I'll have to... Once I've had time to fully digest this mess, then I already did. Yeah, let's get rid of that. There we go. Flame of Chaos, enter what it serves is absolutely another outer god. That was mentioned because the needle specifically is talking about this. You basically are subduing the flame of frenzy. I definitely should go to sleep soon. My brain is melting. You subdue it, and they specifically mentioned ward away the meddling of outer gods. I think the flame of frenzy is another method of influencing, probably the same way that the guidance of grace is a method of influencing. And I wonder if it's something such that the guidance of grace is basically the direct equivalent of the flame for a undefined, or a just like this shit, fucking with the eyes. And that's why frenzy also manifests in the eyes. So I wonder if this is a thing as well. I wonder if the red eyes from the beast is a whole other thing. In fact, am I mistaken that there was another god besides the fire, like another entity besides whatever drives the fire? You think the outer gods are another layer of continuous conflict, and the lands between and this reality is a project of the greater will than their outside forces trying to sabotage it? Maybe? I thought initially, because they were so literal with everything, I wasn't sure if the greater will was just basically, or not the greater will, the lands between. I wasn't sure if the lands between were literally the lands between the underground and some sort of sky place. But Farum Azula is over here, and I don't know if this is a literal space. But like literally, if you go in visually, you can see the Ur Tree. Like it isn't. It's a physical. It has a position in the world. Is Farum explicitly defined as a place at a time? Because there's it has a space in the physical world. It has a space in the physical world, and there is a time rift for the Dragon Lord thing. So, like, I'm not sure how... Personally, I don't think it's at a time. It's locked into place by the will of a former Elden Lord. But not Godfrey. Potentially another Elden Lord. So here's the thing. I think maybe the Stormlord power, their power may have were they a second Elden Lord then? Because I wish there was more information on whatever that character was, because they're mentioned at some armor description or something. Yeah, and you could see the tree here too. You can see the Ur Tree from somewhere. There it is. There's a lot of other stuff that I don't... No, they specifically mention all this random shit existing before the Ur Tree, and before the it was not necessarily the existence of the Ur Tree, but before the time of the Ur Tree, whatever that ends up meaning. If the Ur Tree existed or not, I don't know. In fact, if they're doing this like Norse mythology, then are they basically saying that back in the day, the World Tree per se was like the heart of, the heart of like life and the cycle, and maybe that's why the Elden Ring is basically there, because that's where reality is dictated, at least in this plane of existence, right? And if it's following Norse mythology, then that would make a lot of sense. And the dragons existed beforehand. I think Horaloo and some others did as well. I mean, or Godfrey, whatever. In the final boss fight, you could see many trees. And yeah, that was the other thing that. Well, yes, that was what I was mentioning earlier. I was saying all these different Earth trees. I was going to say, are they different realities that are planes of existence that the Greater Will has some ability to intervene with, or they've most recently conquered? You know? Only need the dragon to munch the Earth tree. Well, yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I don't need to be here anymore. I want to be somewhere where I can blow up enemies for once. Well, I'm a little bit confused as to how Farum Azula came into being, and where it actually was. And why was Farum Azula, like, launched out into the sky out in the middle of nowhere? And why is this to the domain of the Beastmen? You know, like, I don't have enough. I should probably try to find some of their weapons and armor and stuff. Is a civilization that existed long before the Erd Tree. So basically, primitive beast civilization is what you're saying. Ancient. And I guess that's why they have a connection to the dragons then, because they probably would have been on better terms with the dragons than anybody else. And I wonder where it was initially. Was it like at the center? And was it floating above, or did it have a position? Oh, you know what? Is it possible? Is it possible that the capital is in the old position of Farum Azula? Or something weird like that? Is there like a crater or a giant chunk of space removed? I wonder if there's a distinct area on the map that would fit it really well, or look like it has pieces of Farum Azula. Like, a chunk of it is in Limgrave. You can see pieces of that if you wander around, like, early Limgrave. Or, not the peninsula. I think there's the whole thing about the eternal cities and the beasts of the void that have crashed into the world. One could think a meteor crashed through Farum Azula, resulting in it crackling and crumbling. Well, yes. But the question I would have then is, where is the initial position, both in the map, like just, you know, what's the XY position, and what was it in the sky somewhere, and did it just get fucking crashed into the ground? And the best that the Stormlord could do was suspend it in a tornado, in a giant maelstrom. Assuming that it wasn't more like, fuck this place, throw it off to the side so that they have no connection to anybody anymore. Well, I didn't catch exactly what the sin was that they committed that cost them the sky. I know the descriptions for some of the meteor spells mentioned Estelle doing this shit. So this one from the Onyx Lords, and I don't know the history behind the Onyx Lords, but I faced a few of them, which they all have good gravity magic. Maybe they all came from space. Maybe they were another spacefaring creature like the Falling Star Beasts and Estelle. So this one says, manifestation of the power with which Estelle leveled the Eternal City. And so Estelle, for whatever reason, didn't like the Eternal City. Somebody said something like the Eternal City had the sky torn from it, and I don't understand exactly what that's all about.
It's you again. Always a pleasure.
Nothing new here.
Goodbye.
So yeah, so we know... Oh man. So the Greater Will is probably extraterrestrial. The Falling Star Beasts are extraterrestrial. The Onyx Lords are probably extraterrestrial. Multiple different creatures named Estelle, which are maybe is not a title. It's potentially a species. Came from the stars. It's possible that a great power built the lands between on top of the eternal cities. Potentially, and that would be like a metaphorical, like the sky wouldn't necessarily have been removed from it, more so the obscured. But then I also wonder what are the lands between? And my guess is maybe it doesn't necessarily mean the lands between the underground and a sky palace like Farum Azula. I think what instead might be is it's lands between the underground and the void, aka the realm of the outer gods, maybe.